What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecasts, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. They are linked there as usual for you. We do have a chance for Lubbock. There has been chances for Lubbock for a while, but this one's looking a little bit more promising than the last ones. It is a messy setup though, so getting into all of that for West Texas into today. Tomorrow could also be a pretty busy day for the whole West Texas area, all the way from Amarillo down to Midland and the Rio Grande. Could potentially see severe storms, all modes on the table for tomorrow, hail, wind, and tornado. So going to get into that. And then checking in on the tropics. It's that time of year, June 1st, the official start of hurricane season, or the Atlantic tropical season. And there is a disturbance in the Gulf, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. But first, before we get into our weather, come see us at the Atlas All-Stars Stadium Tour. This has been going on all summer, and it's going to continue into mid-August. We're going to be all across the nation here, but our next event is going to be in Tampa, Florida, at the Raymond James Stadium. Derek is the keynote speaker at this. We're going to have prizes and giveaways and lots of fun stuff there. So if you guys are in the Tampa area and want to come say hello to Derek, you can go to atlasroofing.com/events to go ahead and get registered for that. Then into yesterday real quick. Had quite a bit of severe weather that went around the nation, kind of scattered, but you know, quite a bit still. Now through New Mexico and Texas, we did get some large hail that went through the far eastern part of New Mexico and into West Texas, and then some severe winds in and around Amarillo. Just got missed again with that severe hail and that severe wind for the city itself, but nothing for Lubbock into yesterday. For today, could be a different story. Denver also got some hail into yesterday, some in the ping pong ball size range. So just north of the Denver metro area is where that severe hail fell, and then got some more strong winds north of that near the Fort Collins area for yesterday. Today, looking at some scattered cloud cover across the eastern part of the Rockies, far western high plains, and that's kind of where we're going to be continuing to see our risks for a while. The pattern really isn't changing up much, guys, so it's going to be West Texas and the high plains show for the next few days here. But right now for West Texas, this is the remnants of yesterday's storms, and they're continuing to rock and roll through the Lubbock and Amarillo area along I-25 there. Now what that's doing is, like we've seen for the past few days, this is going to cool the air underneath these thunderstorms. We got all that nice warm humid air coming up out of the Gulf, and where the cooler air from this intersects the warmer air that's coming up down from south, or all the directions there, coming up from the south towards Lubbock, that's going to kind of create a cold front interaction that will spark more storms just to the south and west of that storm system today. Watching those for Lubbock. Now up into the high plains area yet again, got more cloud cover, more showers, and you can see the top end of that low with the way that's kind of rotating there. But as that kind of continues to move off to the east, we'll see more storms developing through that area into this afternoon and evening. Florida. You can see this system trying to get some spin on it. It's really not expected to do much still, besides a lot of heavy rain for Florida, but we do have higher end chances of it trying to organize than we did yesterday. If it does do anything, probably going to head south and just kind of bop around the Gulf of Mexico for a few days before fizzling out. We're still really early in the season, but we're going to check in on this at the end of the show here, so stay tuned for our Florida friends. Rest of the nation, mid-80s, really nice. I mean, it's hot, it's humid, but if you like that kind of weather, it's feeling like summer. For most of us from Houston all the way up into Fort Wayne, only 1 degree of a temperature difference between those two areas, which is very unusual. You know, usually get a lot cooler up in the Ohio Valley. Not today. The really only disturbance we're seeing is this low pressure system and this kind of really weak trough that's coming off of it through the Rocky Mountain West. You know, Denver 63 degrees, 81 out in Kansas City, so it is getting us a nice temperature gradient, especially with those storms that are moving through. But, you know, down into West Texas, we could see that continue to disturb the environment just enough to continue those storms. So it's enough. That's kind of the story for the past few days. That trough is enough to get us those storms, get us that hail. Same with these dew points. As those creep off towards the west and that humid air meets that dry air, that's where we'll start to see storms starting to spark up into the next few days, continuing that setup that we've seen for so long. In terms of significant hail model, it's not looking wildly impressive here, but we do have that rain-cooled air that it's working with up in the Amarillo-Lubbock area. And again, once that warm air comes in from the south and meets that, we could potentially have some larger hail forming in that corridor near Lubbock and then passing through in the evening and overnight hours. So watching that for you guys. We'll have your city-specific forecast coming up in a second. But this is kind of what that looks like right now, all right? So there's that main part of that system, and down south of it, where that warm air meets that cool air, we're going to start to get some isolated storms developing along the I-25 corridor. Initially, we could have a tornado threat as well as a large hail threat. These storms will have a potential to be rotating a little bit, which gets us that large hail, but unfortunately also brings that tornado threat along with it. So we're watching out for that into early this afternoon. Then as that passes off to the east, there it goes, still getting more storms developing down south of it with that same threat for the Lubbock area and just north right now. It's kind of been shifting around dependent on where the system moves. You got to remember that because that's going to affect where we get that cold front interaction from the system. But right now, looking like we'll get those isolated cells developing just north of the Lubbock area, potentially in Lubbock, tracking eastward through 5 p.m. There we are by 6 with those hailers, and then the rest of that system is going to start to congeal into a line, producing strong winds into western Oklahoma in the late evening hours. So that's kind of the setup for West Texas today, but we also got to talk about the high plains. There we go into 3 p.m. with a few isolated storms developing here and there along the I-25 corridor in Denver now, all the way up into Cheyenne with a chance to see a lot of small hail as well as potentially some quarters to half dollars with any of those stronger storms that are passing through the system passing through the area with this system later this afternoon and evening through tonight. And it's just kind of going to stay rainy and cloudy through the area into tomorrow morning. So a lot of the same for you guys waking up along the I-25 corridor in the Colorado Front Range area. So here's our hail risk into today. Right now, really hesitant to put out anything larger than golf balls for the Lubbock area just because of the lack of large-scale forcing, which just means that trough that we're looking at is really weak moving through the area. So it's hard to kind of pack a punch with these storms. Wouldn't be surprised if we get 1 or 2 that produce some larger stones, but it's probably going to be just that 1 or 2, so it's really hard to pinpoint where that's going to be, guys. So right now, leaving us at ping pong to golf ball size stones from Clovis into Lubbock, with Lubbock at the best chance of seeing severe hail into today. Amarillo, you guys are on the low end, so non-zero is basically what I can give you for today. Elk City, low end chance for you guys with that linear system tracking through as it moves through western Oklahoma. Denver and Cheyenne, also a low-end chance for you guys because it's going to be more scattered today, but you could, again, potentially see a quarter or 2 through the area with those isolated storms. Now for Lubbock for your city forecast. Going to start up in a couple hours here with that severe weather, and it's going to run through about 7 p.m., so right around sunset is when you should start to see things moving out of your area. Moderate across the board here. To see severe hail, you are the likeliest in the area to see severe hail. Moderate for you guys with those storms passing through. Chance of getting hail up to ping pong to golf ball size, wouldn't be surprised if you do. This is really, again, what we're talking about. Anything greater than golf balls is kind of like 50-50 right now. It just depends on where those strongest storms track. Could be through Lubbock, could be somewhere else. So I got you in a moderate for that today too. But basically be on the lookout for that larger hail today. If anything does get going, wouldn't be surprised though if you see some ping pong to golf ball size stones in and around the area. Now for wind, going to pull that South Plains risk off to the east to account for that line tracking through. But anywhere from Clovis to Elk City, could see some high winds with Lubbock again in the moderate for this afternoon. And then up through Denver and Cheyenne, a low-end chance for both of you guys with those scattered storms tracking off the mountains. For tornadoes, again, that's just going to be where those initial supercells form. So basically from Clovis to Lubbock, all the way eastward into like the Childress area, you guys could potentially see some rotation on those storms with that initial threat of large hail as well. So be on the lookout. if you guys are in any of those risks today, be on the lookout, stay tuned to your weather alerts, stay tuned to our pages. You know, it's a severe weather event that's expected to pass through your area, so good time to be alert for that. And then into tomorrow, kind of the same risk, except now we're expanding it a little bit all the way again from Amarillo down into the Rio Grande. Got some isolated storms starting up, as well as a few clusters. Amarillo's got more of a cluster formation tracking over you guys by tomorrow afternoon, but we do have some stronger supercells possible through Clovis, Lubbock, Midland area, and all the way southward into like Fort Stockton. Could potentially see some large hail starting out tomorrow afternoon. As those track eastward, a couple of those cells look a little stronger than others, but this northern system starts to again kind of cluster together, track off to the east with the wind threat, but it kind of does what we're watching today. So this bow, that shape generally means strong winds, something pushing that rain off to the east. But then when we see those isolated cells coming off of that, it's again that kind of cold front interaction from these rain-cooled areas. And so some of those stronger cells could potentially produce large hail yet again before that system tracks off to the east and tapers off. Really similar pattern to what we've seen for the past few days. So stay tuned for that. But from Dodge City all the way down into the Rio Grande is where we could be seeing that severe hail today with Clovis, Lubbock, and Midland at the best chance to see large hail today. Would not be surprised tomorrow if we get more 2 to 2.5 inch stones on the board through West Texas with those isolated supercells that are so frequently showing up on our map. And we have a little bit of a stronger forcing into tomorrow to produce those storms. Amarillo and Dodge City, low end chance for you guys, but you still could see some large hail into tomorrow afternoon with those storms. Then for wind, it's going to be Dodge City, including like Elk City, Wichita Falls in that, while that system tracks off to the east, but it should be weakening as it moves that way. So low end chance up there. Amarillo down through Midland, again in a moderate for tomorrow. And then tornadoes are yet again a risk with tomorrow's system. So if you guys are really in the south end, I guess south central in that swath, you could potentially see heavier storms and storms packing a little bit more punch, so larger hail as well as potential for tornadoes through Lubbock, through Midland, and then lower in chance once we're moving through Clovis, through Amarillo up into Childress. Chance nonetheless, but a lower end chance for you guys. So stay tuned for that. That's what we have for our inland-based severe weather. Now we got to go to the tropics for you guys in Florida and along the Gulf states. Got to be wary of tropical season, and it's moving into that right now. So we got the system. We were yellow yesterday, 10 to 20% chance. We've hopped up to 50 today. So the system is trying to organize. And again, you can see that, on our map here. Very low wind shear through the area, so that's helping it get itself together. But the Gulf temperatures aren't as warm as they would be in, say, September, when we start to see things really roll in with hurricane season. So watching this for a potential develop, but the conditions aren't all there quite yet to, really be promising. So 50 chance in the next 2 days, 50% in the next 5 to 7. And again, if this does develop right now, it's looking like it's going to kind of track down to the south and kind of linger through the Gulf of Mexico. So not expected to impact any land with any hurricane force winds or anything, but could potentially produce a lot of rain. So that's what we're watching in the next 48 hours. Not looking at a ton by, tomorrow, like today through tomorrow morning. Not looking at a ton across the Florida Peninsula. A couple of folks could be nearing 1/4 of an inch, but then things start to move in a little bit more this weekend. There we are through Friday. Now Miami, you guys could get around 1 inch of rain. Same with Okeechobee, close to it in Boca Raton, and then moving through Saturday into Sunday morning, I think that's Friday into Saturday. Sorry, I'm getting my times all mixed up. It's fine though. From Tampa down into Miami, we got over 1 inch of rain. And again, if you guys are anywhere on here, find your city, that's your total into this weekend. So it just could make travel a little bit difficult, and got some gusty winds and some heavy rain. Could cause a little bit of flooding. It's something to look out for and something to keep an eye on. May impact travel plans, or if you guys had anything going on this weekend. But other than that, it shouldn't really do much for the Florida Peninsula. So we'll keep an eye on it though. These are our 2023 tropical cyclone names. So the first one to form will be Arlene, and we'll see if it could be this one. Looking like probably not right now, but we'll again keep an eye on it. Arlene's going to be first, and then here's the rest of them through W. Last year we got past like M or something, and then halfway through-ish, and then kind of tapered off. So expecting an average season this year. Not a whole lot going on compared to the past couple of years, but we could potentially see an early start with the system that's moving through the Gulf right now. So that's what we got for the next 48 hours. You guys can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. Smash that subscribe button everywhere else. And then if you want to get in contact with us, you can go ahead and scan that QR code up above me or click the link in our description to this video. We map all severe weather live, so if you want info on live severe weather, that's where to get it. Go ahead and check that out. You guys can call us if you want more info at 855-334-4245. I'm sure Frank or Brandon would be happy to talk to you guys about our products if you have questions. And then you can also email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out hailtrace.com for more details on our business here. And again, if you guys have any questions or comments, drop them in the comments, contact us, check out our pages, and we'll be here tomorrow at noon to provide you with updates on all your severe weather risks. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrew Myers. Thanks for watching.